Hello, I'm Pamela YT and I'm a sports lecturer here at the City of Glasgow College. I'm currently the mentor for PDA and for the TQFE of Stirling and Dundee. I'm here today with my student, Georgios.
Good morning, my name is Georgios and I am a student for the PDA at the City of Glasgow College, and I'm also a bank lecturer staff for the City of Glasgow College. I started teaching on the 26th of March of 2013 and I'm still currently teaching various units at the City of Glasgow College.
The purpose of today is to look over your observed lessons. So I've now received and reviewed your profile of your learners and also your learning teaching lesson plans. And so today what we're going to do is talk through how you set up those lesson plans and how you chose your methods to enable you to ensure that you engaged your learners through this teaching experience. Okay, can we start by asking, how did you establish the learning goals, aims and objectives for your teaching sessions?
Okay, they were established at the beginning of my course last August from the unit descriptor that I was given by the City of Glasgow College, and in order to be able to deliver the unit for the NQ Gent Smartboarding, which takes place on the Tuesday evenings, and it is of 3 different modules of 13 weeks each.
Can you describe the methods and approaches that you used within your lessons?
Yes, of course. I used for my first observed lesson, we used teacher instruction, and we started with the dry whiteboard, when I used theory, which it was written on the board and then it was delivered verbally from me as well, while the students were also taking notes. And also for the second part, on the VLE, there was a demonstration from a previous lecturer on the college. They had brought in a stylist from Tony and Guy, and we delivered this. She was doing a haircut, which was based on the unit we were doing on that evening on tapering, blending, and cutting. And based on that, that's how my first observed lesson took place.
Talking about what you've just mentioned there, how do you sequence your learning to maintain enthusiasm and motivation of your students?
I made sure that ensured the students were working collaboratively with peers. So we did a crossword, so separated them in groups and got them to work together. And also there was a demonstration by myself, which I showed them how to do the haircuts and how to finish the tapering and the blending. And then afterwards, some of them had live clients in the class, some of them were using a Sally head. So then I let them to get on and work collaboratively between them. But towards the end of the first break, what we did was a time-themed challenge. And I think it was very important for the students to be actively involved, because that's where they're learning a lot more and a lot faster, and they understand of all the process of how the theory is coming into practice.
Excellent. And thinking about your students then, do you have any accessibility considerations that you have to make?
I did have at the time, because I had one student that had been absent for 5 weeks. And I was worried about his personal development, because it was a lengthy period that he was off. He was contacted after week 3, and there were some summative assessments that will needed to be involved, and I was worried he would fall behind in contrast with the rest of the students, and in case he wouldn't be able to catch up. And I also have 2 ESOL students in my class, which English is not their first language. It's just an additional language that they have.
Considering these students you've just mentioned, are there any organisational details you had to make to suit them?
Yes, we did. What we done is at the beginning of the course, when they started, what we did is we offered them, in case they needed help with a summative assessment, so we offered them the help of a scribe when the summative assessment takes place, so they could come and support them during that. If they didn't want that, they were more than welcome to use a vocabulary, and they were allowed extra time if it was required for the tests. More than an hour if they needed in order to complete the summative assessments.
Excellent, that was successful.
Yes, it was. They didn't require the help, and they started hard, and both of them did very, very well in the summative assessments.
And for assessment, what arrangements do you have to make in your lesson?
I used a variety of assessments. I used formative assessments and summative assessments. And as John Cowan stated, assessment is a machine that drives student learning. So during the lessons, when they started and when the theory was being delivered, we did a question and answer sessions with the students and make sure they understood all the theory. And then at the same time, I did have one student who needed to take a summative assessment for the health and safety paper due to his absence for the week before.
Can I ask what considerations you made to ensure the health and well-being of your students in the class?
Okay, I made sure the environment for the students was conducive and make sure all the students were being treated fairly and equally into the class. And then made sure we followed the curriculum for excellence for them and the principles, the values, and the skills development for them, and to ensure the diversity into the class and how they would learn and keep them engaged and motivated for the rest of the lesson and for the year.
Excellent. Now can you tell me the resources that you used for your sessions?
To start with, we used the Drive whiteboard, and then we used the VLE as well in order to show the video. But then myself, when I was delivering the theory, we used the demo, and we also got the students to be actively involved, because I think when the students were actively involved, they were actually learning better rather than being non-active recipients, and if they were taking a step back. So I made sure at different times, it depends how their areas of strengths were or where they would need to develop. I made sure that they were doing different haircuts in order to become better for where they needed some time to develop more.
Excellent. You mentioned VLE. What other technologies would you use?
At the time when we discussed it afterwards, there were not a lot of resources for us to show to the students. So we discussed in order for me to develop my own resources into the class for the next observed lesson, so which I did. And it was in order for the students to be able to recognize the difference between the different haircuts and how they would be able to apply them onto the clients into the future.
Are there any other technologies that you think would help enhance your teaching?
I would like to use the Smartboard. We don't have that technology up in the hairdressing department in the class where we are, and I think it would be very vital for the students for the future in case if we could use it for them.
Excellent. Okay, Georgios, thank you very much for coming today.
No problem, you're welcome, thank you.
That is your assessment now complete, and it will be subject to internal verification. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.